What is up, YouTube? Good morning from Silver Surfer. Back in action here, finally, making another video. Thank you guys for kind of following along with a couple of vids I did post of my long road trip. And now I'm finally set all up to where I can finish off my 20th Century Proof set. I do have a very, very special pickup that I know a lot of you guys have been waiting to see, and I can't wait to share it with y'all. So without further ado, let's go ahead and get started on this. We're going to go from most current to oldest in the dollar portion of my collection. So with that being said, the first one we have here is a 1981 S. This is the Susan B. Anthony dollar. It is graded by PCGS Proof 70 Deep Cameo. As you can see, this is the Type 1 edition, and just a beautiful example of a proof coinage with the cameo contrast here. Love the reflectivity, super reflective, perfect grade by PCGS, which does make it a little bit higher premium here. Still not all that expensive, this coin in general. But on the obverse here, many of you guys have seen this. This is Susan B. Anthony, a social reformer, and very popular amongst the women's rights back in the day. She was the first lady to ever actually be minted on a coinage, a first real lady, I should say, as opposed to like Lady Liberty designs and stuff like that. Produced by mint engraver, chief mint engraver at the time, Frank Gasparis. And then on the reverse here, you got the Apollo 11 edition, which is the same reverse kept from Mr. Gasparis's previous coins, the Ike dollar. So smaller denomination. Interesting history here. These were minted from 79 to 81 and again in 1999. They wanted to produce a coinage, a dollar coinage, in a more smaller, compact way in which they thought would be circulated and accepted by the public. However, once again, it was not accepted much and confused a lot of the times at the quarter dollar. And so they were quickly discontinued in 1981. I don't think this coin has received as much justice as it should because of the short run that it had and just kind of the receptivity from the public. But in 1999, again, they were getting ready to, law was passed to mint dollar coins again. And before they can actually produce a 2000 Sacagawea gold-plated coin, they ended up putting this in one more time in 1999 as they saw an increase in these used in vending machines as well as postage stamp machines throughout post offices in the United States. So kind of an interesting story. A lot more goes on with this, but like I said, I don't think this coin just received as much justice as it should. It's actually a pretty nice little piece here. Not my favorite design by any means, but necessary to have it in the collection. And I love the little golden tone hue that it has as well. It's kind of difficult to see in the light, but there you go. You can see it's got a little bit of a goldish tone here. Neat coin, neat history. Moving on, we're going to go down to the 1976 San Francisco Mint Proof 69 Deep Cameo Silver Edition. As I mentioned in my typeset, I'm only doing the silver compositions. There's 36 coins in the 20th Century Proof typeset. However, I'm only participating in the ones that have a actual different type, not different compositions. So meaning silver versus clad versus matte versus brilliant proof. This ones that are actually different in design. So here's the Ike dollar though. Another coin that wasn't very well accepted amongst the public. Too large, they thought. I actually really like these things. I think Eisenhower president was a great president, especially an awesome general in World War II. This is the bicentennial celebration edition for him, as we have one for the Kennedy and the quarter dollar as well. But anyways, so this in the 60s, the price of silver actually rose, and they realized that they ran out of silver deposits in the government. And so since it hasn't been minted since 1935, which was the last edition of the peace dollar, so what they did was try to get legislation through to get a new dollar, and they contemplated back and forth as if they should have made from silver, if it should be a clad silver composition or just clad for business strike. And they ended up producing a whole slew of these different things from 1971 through 1978. But yeah, they were circulated out in the West a lot, in which hard money was used. Yay, go West. And so they wanted to, people in the West, there was desire for it, and there was no more of it available in the government. And so they ended up getting legislation passed again to have a dollar coin and a silver dollar coin produced, which these are highly used in casinos and everything else. And so since President Eisenhower was recently deceased, they decided to go ahead and celebrate his life that way. So the obverse, there you go. Nice, brilliant cameo here. Look at that contrast. These things, when you get them super non-hazy and stuff, they just really, really shine. I love the big, heavy design, or the big, heavy feel of the silver dollar too. Same size as the Peace dollar and Morgan. Just an absolute rad coin, I think. On the reverse, it's got the Liberty Bell and the moon representation for the Apollo 11 landing, which happened not too shortly before that. And the other bicentennial coins also have representation. So a neat coin all in and of itself. And then we're going to go to the other different design composition of the Eisenhower dollar. This is a 72S Proof 69 Deep Cam. If you get these in 70 Deep Cam, they get very, very pricey, but these can all be had for anywhere in $30 to $50 range. Not too expensive, but this one too has some amazing mirrors. Check that out. Oops, and I think there's a hair. Hold on real quick. Sorry, dog hair there. There we go, off of his forehead. But yeah, check him out there, man. Super reflective. Really, really cool. And then the reverse is the same, as I mentioned a minute ago, as the Susan B. Anthony. Or I should say the Susan B. Anthony is the same as this one because it technically was minted before. And they kept Mr. Gasparis's, who was also the chief engraver of this coin, his design. With a little nod to the Apollo 11 mission landing. Check that out. Pretty sweet little eagle on the back there. I really do enjoy these Ike dollars. The business strike ones really aren't worth much. Even the proofs aren't worth all that much collector-wise, as again, they weren't very well received amongst the public, but I dig them. I just love the big size of them. It reminds me of the hard money. It reminds me of the Peace dollar, the Morgans, at a better time in our society of our currency-wise, in my opinion. So, and then last but surely not least, what you all have been waiting for. And I promised I was going to show it, and this by far is probably my favorite coin here that I own. So go ahead and check this out. 1904. What was minted then for the dollar range? Proof 62. As much as old Silver Surfer can afford. And look at the green bean sticker also. CACT for excellence. And might as well just go and show you that bad boy right there. Take a look at that stunner, man. I'm just going to be quiet and just circle around here for a minute to let you guys see how glorious this Morgan dollar proof is. Never in a million years would I have thought that I would be owning one of these coins. And boy, did I get a beauty. Did I get a beauty. Look at this, man. To hold a proof Morgan dollar in my hands as part of my personal collection is just absolutely fascinating. So happy to be sharing this with you guys and to own this thing, not gonna lie. Super reflective, you know, the proof like and dimple proof likes, they just have a couple of those, and comparing and contrast don't even stand the chance of an actual proof Morgan dollar. And this one's just a blazer, man. A lot of these had haze. There are some white marks on here in between on the fields and stuff, which, and on her cheek, smidgen, very difficult to see, but there are some white marks in the fields below. Which is thus the 62 grade, but I mean, man, oh man, these things are expensive in any range. This one I agreed on a price from David Lawrence, awesome coin dealer. If you guys have ever been done business with them, and wonderful transaction. They actually held it for me until I got to my new location, and just such a sweet, sweet coin here, man. And like I said, this thing is such a friggin' blazer. Go ahead and flip it on the backside for you. Show you the reverse here. Absolutely as impeccable, with some little golden tone going on all throughout. See if I can get a close-up image of it. Wonderful strike. I mean, proof coinage is truly the epitome of the designs, of the designer's work. You know, the handling of it, the striking of it is just all taken into consideration when they make these things. And so to have this, it's like as if it was Mr. Morgan's drawing itself struck right onto this coin. It's just such an amazing piece of artwork here. And to have a proof one, I just can't get over it. Really, really cool. So these things, this was a final year mintage. I'll tell you a little bit of history on it. The proof Morgan, they actually minted Morgan proofs in every single year from 1878 to 1904, except in 21. 21, they have these Zerbe proofs, which really aren't, you can go ahead and do your own research and look that up, but they're not really considered to be proof coinage as in the case of this. So this technically is the last final year of the proof coinage for the Morgans, and it was just such a difficult time to find one of these because for my 20th century typeset, obviously I have about 5 years I'm working with to find a proof. And moreover, to find one within my grade range and price range and stuff, you know, it literally left me with about 400 maybe coins to choose from. And so think about that for a second, of how tough it is for me to find a good one out of about 400 coins for 1900 and 1904 that were all minted in, or excuse me, that all were around the Proof 62 grade range, and that were actually Proof 62 and CAC'd and everything else. You know, it's very, very, very difficult to find one of these. And so I lucked out on it, man. It took me a lot of time searching for one for quite some time now. Looked at many different auctions. There were a couple before that I'm happy to say that I did not fall for it and get those ones, because this one came up, and you know, patience is truly a virtue when you have it in numismatics, and it paid off greatly in this one. Yeah, I paid probably, you know, a couple $100 more than I could have got one through Great Collections or Heritage or all that stuff, but it's worth it when you get a coin like this. You know, it's truly unmatched. When you, as a wise numismatist once told me, when you feel that after you bought a coin, you go, man, I paid way too much for that. But then you sit back and you say, man, but I'm happy I paid way too much for that. You know you made the right choice, and that's exactly how I feel with this one. Look at that thing, dude. I know for a fact that I made the right choice on this. And David Lawrence was very, very fair with their pricing, and they do have the most beautiful coinage for sale in their dealers. They have a great eye for coinage. So anyways, 650 of these guys minted, about 545 of them barely survived. So super, super rare wise on the survival rates, if you would. And then, like I said, it makes it even more tough and difficult for me with picking one up in the grade that I can actually afford. So I hope you guys enjoyed this, man. I hope you got a good enough look at this Morgan here. And actually all these. I am now completed with the dollar series of my typeset. This bumped Old Silver Surfer up to number 13 on PCGS registry. Not only am I on the first page, but I'm almost within the top 10. And again, not bragging, but very, very proud of this collection that I put together. I mean, you're talking people who's number 2, D.L. Hansen. You know, these people are billionaires that have these collections. And so to be able to, and I don't even have it completed, you know, I'm missing all the clad versions, and I'm still up with that grade. And so again, not bragging, but just stating the fact that if you really take your time and patience and put together a beautiful collection, it pays off. It definitely pays off in the over the long run, man. That's how it's done. Right there, that's how it's done. So anyhow, I hope you guys enjoyed this. Thanks for sticking with me. I'll give you one more quick overview, but thanks for sticking with me for the past few weeks of my delays within the YouTube community. I expect to get back to you guys. Going to be a little busy here with graduate school, but I'm going to do my very best to be able to get back to you all on your videos. And I've been watching you guys, and even if I'm not commenting on every single video, know that I am watching you. And I appreciate y'all's comments on my videos as well. And I just want to say thanks, YouTube. You know what I mean? So here's the reverses. Once more overview. Susan B, Bicentennial Ike, Regular Ike, and the gorgeous Morgan. So with that, Silver Surfer is out.